Let's talk about genre. Genre is how we categorize literature and text. First, there are two main categories: fiction versus nonfiction. Fiction is fake and made up. Nonfiction is real. Nonfiction includes articles and essays, biographies or autobiographies, informational and persuasive texts, brochures, historical accounts, accounts of real events, letters and journals, memoirs, media, and manuals and self-help. We're going to talk more about nonfiction later, but for today, for this presentation, we're going to focus on fiction. Fictional stories have made-up events and are created from the author's imagination. We're going to look at 4 types of fiction. There are many other types, but most novels will fit into one of these 4 types. The first type is called realistic fiction. It's set in the present, has human characters, and the plot could really happen. These are books like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Wonder, or Freak the Mighty. Another type of fiction is called historical fiction. Historical fiction is set in the past. Characters are sometimes real people from history, but they can also be made up people as well. And it might involve real places or events from history, like The Watsons Go to Birmingham, 1963, Number the Stars, Al Capone Does My Shirts, and Fever, 1793. Science fiction is set in the future. Setting is sometimes a utopia, which is a perfect society, or a dystopia, which is the opposite. It's a society characterized by misery. It might involve outer space, time travel, or advanced technology. Next, we have fantasy. Fantasy contains magical elements, may include talking animals or other mythical creatures, and objects or people have superpowers. These are books like Harry Potter, Twilight, Eragon, anything with ghosts or paranormal creatures. Another type of fiction is called folktales. A folktale is a story set in the past that has been passed down from generation to generation. We are going to look at 5 types of folktales today. The first is the fairy tale. It takes place in a magical land ruled by royalty. The characters are either good or evil and almost always has a happy ending. Think of your Disney movies for fairy tales. Tall tales are a little bit different. They have unbelievable exaggerations. They're told as if they were meant to be true, but they obviously aren't. They're also meant to be humorous. These are stories like Paul Bunyan or Johnny Appleseed. Another type of folktale is a legend. It usually has some connection to a real historical person or event. It combines factual and fictional events with exaggerations that are not meant to be humorous. An example of a legend is King Arthur and the Sword and the Stone, or Robin Hood. So parts of the story may have been true, but it is mostly exaggerated. Myths. Myths explain something about the world, such as frightening or mysterious natural forces, or how something came to be. The most familiar kind of myth is Greek mythology. This is like Zeus, who throws lightning bolts, and the other Greek gods. Or Native Americans and other cultures have their own mythology as well. Natives believed that the world was created on the back of a tortoise shell. Lastly, we have fables. Fables are probably the easiest to recognize because they are very short, they teach a moral or a lesson, And the characters are usually personified by animals, such as the tortoise and the hare, the grasshopper and the ant, or the boy who cried wolf. That's all for genres for today. Happy reading!